It doesn't matter who you are. Whether you're on the sidewalk or sitting in a penthouse, there's this one thing that pretty much everyone on Earth wants more of. We call it money, right? But sometimes it feels more like an obsession, an addiction. It's kind of funny. It's the one language that a PhD professor and a high school dropout can both speak perfectly.
But have you ever really stopped to think, what is this stuff? I mean, really, it's just pieces of paper. And these days, mostly just numbers on a screen. This is the thing that made us trade in forests for skyscrapers and walking for jet engines. So where does all that power actually come from? Because, and this is the crazy part,
It has absolutely zero value on its own. None. A dollar bill? It's just a fancy piece of paper. It's a symbol, that's all. A symbol that stands for the value of other things. So the big question is, how did this little piece of paper get so much power over everything? Well, to figure that out, we've got to take a little trip back in time.
Yeah, to really get a grip on our modern financial system, we have to rewind the clock. It all kicked off with a really simple, but honestly a deeply flawed idea. Just trading your stuff for someone else's stuff. Okay, so first up was the barter system. And let me tell you, it was a total logistical nightmare. You had to find someone who not only had what you wanted, but also wanted exactly what you had. Good luck with that. So we moved on to commodity money, things like cattle or grain. That was better, but cows die, grain rots, not great for long-term savings. The next big upgrade? Precious metals like gold. Super durable, everyone wanted it, but it was heavy, and it basically put a giant target on your back for thieves. And that led to the cleverest solution yet. People started storing their gold with local goldsmiths. In return, they got paper receipts, basically IOUs. And these were a game changer. They were light, they were safe, and they were just so much easier to carry around.
And right there, that simple little convenience, that was the turning point. This is where everything changed. See, the goldsmiths, who were basically the world's first bankers, they started to notice something really interesting about what people were doing. Or rather, what they weren't doing. It turns out almost nobody was coming back for the actual physical gold. The paper receipts themselves, they became the money. People were just trading the paper back and forth, treating it as if it were the gold. They just trusted it completely. And when the goldsmiths saw this, they had let's just call it a very, very profitable idea.
They realized, hey, since everyone isn't asking for their gold all at the same time, we can start printing and lending out more receipts than the gold we actually have in the vault. And just like that, the goldsmith shop becomes the world's first bank. And that one simple, kind of deceptive idea, that was the birth of our entire modern financial system. All right, so let's fast forward to today. Most of us, right, we have this really simple picture of how a bank works. You think you deposit your money, say $1,000, and the bank just lends that same $1,000 out to someone else. Makes sense, right? Well, it's completely wrong. That is not how the game is played. The reality is so much weirder. So let's break down the actual mechanics of how new money is created. Because banks don't just act as middlemen moving money around. No, they literally manufacture it out of thin air. Okay, let's just follow the money here. Imagine you walk into a bank and deposit $1,000 in cash. You look at your banking app and boom, it shows a balance of $1,000. Great. Now the bank is legally required to keep a small fraction of that on hand. That's the reserve. Let's just say it's 10%. So they hold on to $100 of your cash. But then they lend out the other $900 to someone else. And that person, the borrower, now looks at their account and it shows a balance of $900. And right there, poof. Think about what just happened. Your account still says you have $1,000. The borrower's account says they have $900. Suddenly, there's $1,900 of purchasing power in the world, all from your original $1,000 deposit. The bank just created $900 out of thin air, literally by just typing numbers into a computer.
This whole process has a name. It's called the fractional reserve system. And trust me, it doesn't stop with that one loan. Because when that borrower goes and spends their $900, whoever receives it then deposits it into their bank. And what does that bank do? It keeps 10% and lends out the rest. The cycle just keeps going, and your original $1,000 in cash can end up creating up to $10,000 of new money throughout the economy. So what's the big takeaway from all this? What's the end result of this system running for decades? Well, let me ask you this. If you added up every single dollar in every bank account all over the world, what percentage of that total do you think actually exists as physical cash and coins? Just take a guess. The answer is
pretty shocking. It's less than 10%.
And this chart really shows you the fragile reality of our financial world. The vast, overwhelming majority of what we all call money, it's not in some giant vault somewhere, it's not even paper. It's just digital dust. It's numbers on a screen, and that right there is why a bank run is so terrifying. If even a small fraction of people tried to withdraw their actual cash all at once, the whole system would just collapse. The banks literally don't have the cash. It doesn't exist.
Look, I know this whole system can feel complicated, and maybe that's on purpose. But to really navigate it, there's one last super important distinction you have to understand, and that's the difference between currency and money. Okay, so on one side, you've got currency. That's the stuff in your bank account, bill in your wallet. It's just a medium of exchange. Its only value comes from a government saying it's valuable, and all of us agreeing to trust that. The moment that trust is gone, it's just worthless paper. But then on the other side, you have money. This is an asset that's a true store of value. Think of something physical, like a gold coin. Its value is built in, it's universal, and it doesn't need a government or a bank to tell you it's worth something.
So, when you boil it all down, our entire modern financial world is built on one thing: trust. It's that trust that allows this whole complex system to function and to grow. But that leaves you, and all of us, with a pretty critical question to think about. In a world that runs on digital promises and numbers on a screen, how much actual, tangible reality do you need to hold in your own hands to truly feel secure?